Hi everyone, welcome, I'm MisterBo and we have just had the two live streams for Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. We had Kraken versus Uber Haxanova, and then we had Jericho versus Retro Replay, which was Nolan North and Troy Baker. And through these streams, we actually got a lot of stuff revealed that we haven't seen in game yet. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at those things, including some characters like Norm and N, some skins for a lot of characters we haven't seen before, as well as some gameplay of some of the tracks we have yet to see gameplay of as well. And before we get into this, if you enjoy the video, be sure to give the like button a big old hug. If you're new around here, feel free to subscribe for more gaming content and coverage, and if you do, be sure to also boop that bell icon so you're notified when my future videos go live. Now, because this footage is coming from a live stream, it's not the best quality, it's not the sharpest, but we can still make out a lot of stuff from this footage. So on screen, you've been seeing the first actual gameplay we've had of Coco Park. Obviously, we've seen Coco Park before in a few different trailers, but here is our first look at some gameplay. From there, we can then flick over to the character selection screen. So in the build they're playing, it seems to be a fairly final build. There were a few things that were off limits to them. For instance, they weren't allowed to play as Zem. There was a few different tracks that they weren't allowed to play on, like Hot Air Skyways. And we weren't allowed to see very many of the menus, but we did get a sort of slip up that we'll go over in just a minute. But in this character selection screen, we can see Small Norm and Big Norm, who we haven't seen before yet. We also see N, and a pretty cool thing about N is that obviously he's tiny, so he doesn't really fit in the carts very well, so he's actually standing in all the carts, which is a cool little addition to him. Of course, we see all the other characters here, Crunk, Nash, Real Velo. They did even ask, they saw Real Velo and they asked the Activision rep who was there, they said, what about fake Velo? To which there was no answer. So maybe we're still getting fake Velo. Obviously Penta Penguin isn't here. Penta Penguin's probably going to be in the full game, so we're probably going to get more than these 25 characters, but these are still a pretty solid 25 characters to be getting. Now, another thing we got with these characters is we finally saw some of the stats for ones that weren't listed in the Activision blog the other day. So when it comes to the intermediates, we now know who's in what. Firstly, Small Norm and Geary are all-rounders, and then Oxide, N, and Nash are all acceleration-based characters. So I think that fits pretty well. Now, the other tracks we got gameplay of is Ruse Tubes, which obviously we've seen before, but we see it in a lot more detail here. There are some cool things in some of these tracks. For instance, on Ruse Tubes as well as Cortex Castle, at the beginning of Ruse Tubes you have this sort of giant door that opens up as soon as the race starts, and with Cortex Castle you have the gate that is down, and as you're about to begin the race it slowly raises up. Now, a cool, neat addition to Cortex Castle is the flags around the track. Now, obviously you have your normal Cortex flags, but we also have some Nina flags. So yes, Nina is technically in this game. We don't know if she's going to be a playable character, but the fact that she's got flags in Cortex Castle makes me think that maybe she is. We also have flags for N Brio as well, which again might mean we're going to be seeing N Brio as a playable character. And then the final flag that is hanging around Cortex Castle is a fake Crash in a Jester outfit, though I don't believe the Jester outfit is a skin in the game, or it wasn't shown off in this preview, so maybe we get a Jester version of fake Crash as a skin later down the line. Moving on to another unseen track, and that is Out of Time. We briefly got a teaser for it, but now we get some full gameplay. It's still pretty faithful to the original. Obviously they've had to change where the anti-gravity sections are, so instead of going up on the clock face, you go through underneath the clock and around. I think it works pretty well for not having the anti-gravity, and it doesn't really feel like it takes away from the track, and this track does look really good. They've done such an amazing job. I think out of all the tracks they showed off today, Cortex Castle is going to be the most stunning. The amount of attention to detail in Cortex Castle is unbelievable. The other final track we got to see was Inferno Island, which again we've only had a tease of before, but we got to see some gameplay, 4-player split screen gameplay on this track, and well, again it looks super awesome. Unfortunately the stream was a little bit choppy when the gameplay for this track went live, so it's not the best footage, but again it looks like a pretty awesome track, and they've done faithful by the original. Now, in terms of races, those were the only new tracks that we saw. We also got some gameplay of Papu's Pyramid as well as Suez Speedway, but we've already seen footage of those. They then went into battle mode. Now, we haven't actually had any proper gameplay of battle mode either, so we get to see some battle mode gameplay here. There are definitely all the modes present from Crash Team Racing as well as Crash Nitro Kart. They weren't allowed to play Capture the Flag or Steal the Bacon, but Last Kart Standing, Crystal Grab, and just your normal battle mode were all there. They played on a few different battle arenas as well, which will be flicking up on screen for you here. There's also 8 players in battle mode, and you can add AI in now. Obviously you can also play with these online as well, which is going to be a ton of fun. Now speaking of modes, there was a moment in the stream where they accidentally showed a list of the modes you're going to be able to play in this game. So they include single race, cup race, battle, time trial, relic race, CTR challenge, and crystal challenge. Now I'd assume these are all the online game modes, so it's going to be interesting to see how time trials, relic races, CTR challenges, and crystal challenges work into online modes. But maybe they are just single player modes and it just saves you from having to go into the adventure mode every time you want to play these. Now the final thing we'll talk about is skins for some of these characters that we saw. Some of these skins we haven't seen before. For instance, we saw some skins for Big Norm, we saw an awesome skin for Komodo Joe, we saw a really weird looking skin for Trance where he's kind of got like a sort of armbands on and sort of a swimming cap, and a lot of other skins which I'll be flashing up on screen for you here. Now overall, this stuff gets me even more excited. The characters we haven't seen before are looking great. The gameplay is looking really fun. Again, we haven't seen people who are like top tier play this game yet, and when we do, that's going to be a lot of fun to see. I think this game is going to have a long life, especially with the online modes. People are going to be playing battle modes, people are going to be playing cups, and all the time you're going to be grinding out to get Wumpa coin to unlock the next item you want, whether that is a skin, a character, a cart, a decal, a sticker, or some wheels. There is a ton of options and a ton of stuff to get in this game. So I'd love to know what you guys think. Did you watch the streams? Did you see some stuff that I maybe missed? And if you didn't, what do you think of this stuff now? Are you excited to see Trance finally, as well as Norm? What do you think of Cortex Castle, Out of Time, and the other tracks I showed off? Let me know in the comments below. We are so very close to this game now, I can almost feel it. But just like at the beginning, if you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to give the like button a big old hug, subscribe for more gaming content and coverage, and if you do, boop that bell icon to be notified when my future videos go live. But thanks for hanging out with me, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.